What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Thanks for joining me for yet another live stream, another episode of Men Like Us podcast. Today is just going to be a whole lot different. It's going to be a solo show. I did have somebody else to book to do this with me, but they canceled. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyways. Got some pretty important stuff to talk about today. But before we move on to anything else at all, I am starting this show. I am going to promote as many trans-owned small businesses as I can. So, with no further ado, the first business up for this episode is, nope, I didn't bring it up. There we go. Is Adore Me Doll Cosmetics. Fellas, brothers, this is a podcast for you fellas. You got to get your skincare game up, all right? Got to get it up. So, look, I'm going to just read through this description real quick. Adore Me Dolls Cosmetics. This is skincare made with all-natural, paraben-free, cruelty-free organic ingredients made for the man or woman who made the conscious decision to love their skin. I need to get me some of this because my skin is just, I'm aging too quick. But yeah, this is a dope business. I know the girl that owns this. She is a straight up hustler. She works her ass off. You see it day in and day out from her. So please, everybody, go to, almost knocked over my coffee. Please go to adoremedollcosmetics.com to get your skincare on. All right. Get your skincare on, and this is a woman from our community who could use your support. So get on that website and purchase. So now that we got the promotion stuff out the way, we're gonna try to get a new business every week here. So if y'all know any businesses, inbox the show, send me some website links, product descriptions, all that stuff. I am here to help the community. So sorry, I have to keep going through between two windows here. So yeah, now to the content. Normally I offer a trigger warning. Normally there's a trigger warning, and normally it's for the ladies because there are a good amount of ladies that watch this and consume the podcast. But this one is for the Christians, church folk. Be warned, you might be triggered during this broadcast. Okay. And before I continue on to the meat of the show, I want to yet again explain why the hell I do this. I'm doing this for the fellas. There are many, many men out there who are hungry for knowledge, who are lost. They don't know what they are. They're having trouble reconciling their attraction to women of trans experience. They're looking for people. They're looking for conversation to help them grow. They're just looking for information in general. And this is for those guys. This show, men, this show is for you. This is just for you. While I'm happy to have ladies listen to the show, I primarily do this for the brothers. Because when I was, in the beginning stages of my attraction and all that stuff, there was no information. There was no conversation. There was nobody like me out there doing this. So these conversations are important, and the content here is definitely out there changing lives. And I've already talked to some men, and it gives who is given courage to continue to pursue being openly attracted to trans women and I guess be transamorous. Now that's a title, the transamorous, that term. We're going to talk about that later. We ain't talking about that on this show because that's a whole nother ball of wax that we got to straighten out. So that is coming up next week. We are going to dig into that term and what it really means and all that jazz. But today, I felt like I needed to share with everybody because I've been getting the feeling that I've been on here talking to guys saying, hey, it's okay, come out, tell your family, tell your friends, be open with everybody. Nothing's going to happen to you. Everything's going to be just fine. And I feel like that might not have been the complete honest portrayal of what is really happening or what can happen. So, it's not all sunshine and roses out here. And so I was just going to share my story because this is the first year that I have chosen not to spend Thanksgiving with my immediate family. And you can tell from the title down below, having the talk with your family led to that. And I just kind of want to share my experience for everybody out there who, is thinking about telling their parents or telling their siblings, whatever else. It's while a lot of people do have really good results with that. I was one of the people that had a very bad experience with that, and it was a whole fucking mess, and it still is a mess. And I don't see things changing anytime soon. So let me go down this damn page. Sorry, I got my show notes here because I need to keep this all organized. So yeah, I've been doing content. I've been doing this kind of content for about 2 years now. And earlier this year, I made the decision to break down the wall between my private profiles on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, and stuff, the podcast that I was doing at the time. It was called Trans Talk for Men. I really kept things separate. I kept things separate in a way that, my friends and family from back home, the folks I grew up with in the hood, the people I knew from the church, wouldn't see it. And it was kind of like I was still living two lives. And, it was definitely hypocritical. It was absolutely hypocritical. So early this year, I made a decision to break down that wall and be fully, open and living my truth and all that stuff. So with that, I had to, I had to have the talk with my mom. My mother is a very, very Christian woman, and I don't think very, very even covers it. So her whole life is church. Her whole world is church. And if anybody knows anything about the Black church, anything outside of regular hetero life is a huge no-no. The Black church does not have a very rosy view on anyone who is outside of the normalized hetero life. So the Black church is really, really, really fucked up in that way. So anywho, I made a decision to break down this wall. I called my mom, and I calmly explained to her, what kind of women I date, why I do this, that women of trans experience are my default. I did explain that I still want to have kids. I still want to be married. I still want that life that, like, my goals on life have never changed. And so I explained all that to her, and, I told her, hopefully, someday, I know that she might be feeling some kind of way, but hopefully someday I could bring somebody home and, make her a part of our family. And, my mom was, during this time, she was annoyed and irritated, and then she hung up on me. She hung up, and I just let it be at that because obviously she was upset. She just needed some space, which I was happy to give her because I knew that this was going to be a thing. And anywho, like 20 minutes later, my mom calls me back and is uncontrollably crying. She is, I don't know, she's just spewing. She was spewing out emotions in a way I'd never seen before in my life. And I'm in my mid to late 30s. So, but anywho, she called back, uncontrollably crying, saying my father would never approve of this. And my father was a very, churchly guy too, but, he died 30 years ago. But, she was trying to lay the guilt trip about my dead father and how he would never approve of this. And, she was, like I said, hysterically crying. And the one thing that she kept asking while she was just sobbing on the phone is, what did I do to deserve this? And she asked that a few times. I let it, I thought it would be best that I speak as little as possible on the second round of the phone call and just let her get it all out. But, she said that multiple times. And this was the first time in my life my mother's ever been honest with me about her sadness, her despair. So she was really just showing how sad she really was in life. And this was just something else that happened to her that she didn't feel that she deserved. And she was out, and I guess she went to, she gave me the, there's only a few black men out there, or I'm sorry, there's only a few good black men out there. If any of you are white or outside the black community, a lot of times when a man does not puts himself in a place where he doesn't date black women, whether he's, into women of trans experience, gay, or dating somebody white or Latin, a lot of times what you will hear from women is like, dang, we only got so many good black men. Why aren't they coming for us? Why aren't they doing this? Like they're not doing what we want them to do. And, it was like I was disappointing the whole community in her eyes, where it was just like, we only got a few black men, and you out here doing this, and you one of the good ones, and you doing this. And, she was greatly, she shared how greatly disappointed she was. And I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my notes to keep this thing rolling. But, she, I guess the one thing that sort of hit me at some point was really when she intimated that I should never work with young black men again. She said that she didn't want me confusing them because I date women of trans experience. When, I am I'm a digital manager at a TV station working for a large corporation. In fact, I'm the only black digital manager in that entire company. I've definitely earned the respect of people in my field. I'm doing things. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do out here, and contributing to society in a way that somebody that is traditional would respect. So, but in her mind, none of that mattered. And it didn't matter that I went to school, got my degree, got a great job, worked hard, worked my way up. None of that mattered because I dated women of trans experience. And in her mind, that was disgusting and of the devil. And I don't know. She really just, let's just say she didn't like the idea of that at all. And all of this, all of this anger and despair really just came from her faith. Her faith tells her that this is wrong. Her faith, Christianity, the black church, she's been conditioned to think certain things were wrong and certain things should be persecuted and condemned and looked down upon. And, I had a conversation with my aunt just a couple of weeks ago, and I called her out on it with this whole Christianity black church bullshit, because the black church picks and chooses. They pick and choose which sins they decide to persecute. So for some reason, anything LGBT or LGBT related, they're going to persecute the fuck out of that shit. And it's really, really fucking trash that the black church should, who should be the beacon of light in our community and the leader of, bringing people together, they're really here to judge and cast people out, which is complete shit. So it's really fucked up. There, and I'm just going to take one more swipe at black churchgoers, because I'm black. All I can speak from is the black experience. But it's just crazy how so many of these niggas love judging the fuck out of people based on this book that they don't read. Like they don't read it. But my faith says, oh, well, I don't care. The word of God says this. And it's like, okay, well, you know, the word of God says you can't eat shellfish. Or the word of God says you can't come to church with wearing braids. And the word of God says you can't come to church wearing gold. But you do it anyways because you like to just pick and choose what's right and wrong, which is, you know, bullshit. So, anywho, with all that said, this is the first year that I have decided not to go home for the holidays. And, you know, it's mostly because I'm not here for thinly veiled, half-hearted acceptance with a sea of judgment and condemnation swimming just beneath the surface. Like, I'm not here for that bullshit. And I don't know who they think they're fooling with that shit. You know, and anybody who has been in the religious circles, you know, you've probably heard the saying that, you know, oh, we hate the sin but love the sinner. We hate the lifestyle but we love the person, which is bullshit because they're not different. They're not fucking different. But, you know, the one thing that I hear that I've heard from a lot of my family members is, you know, well, I don't agree with your lifestyle, but I love you. And, you know, that's some bullshit. And to that, I say, you know, who the fuck asks you if you agree? Like, who the fuck asks you if you agree? Like, the response to me telling you that I date women of trans experience should not be, I don't agree with your lifestyle, but I love you. It should be, I love you. None of that I don't agree with it bullshit, because that's just fucking, that's judgment and condemnation, even no matter how you want to cover it up. I mean, at this point, you're being nice racist, and a nice racist is still a racist. You know, you're trying to cover it up with your new church, new age stuff to seem like you're not judging and you're not so terrible when you really are. You really are fucking horrible. So, anywho, I just thought I needed to share this experience because, and just share my thoughts on a lot of this stuff because, you know, telling your family isn't always going to go nice and easy. And in my case, it didn't. And I feel like I've given a false impression yet again, given a false impression of, you know, oh yeah, just come out and be just fine. No problems, whatever. I told my friends I had no problem. I told these people I had no problem. Well, sometimes you do have problems, and sometimes the problems are with your family, people that it's a lot harder for you to get rid of than, you know, your friends. So, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, y'all. Thanks for listening to my experience, and thanks for sitting through all this story time stuff. I really just wanted to share with you guys, and brothers out there, please feel free to hit me up if you are having issues with your family or if you're worried about your family. You know, nobody knows your family better than you. You know what to expect and you know what's coming. So might as well just get yourself ready for it and you know, get yourself mentally ready for it, honestly. So I guess with that, I will see everybody later. Thanks for joining me tonight on this stream. And I am out. Oh, the comments. I'm sorry, y'all. I haven't been viewing the comments. Let me dip into the comments real quick because it's just, you know. All right, Brianna. Oh yeah, Brianna. Trail, my homie Trail in the house. DD Waters, thank you so much for stopping by. You know, Asha, that's my homie right there. Meg, what's going on? Tony. and you know what, Tony? Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. Don't matter if you agree or not. Just don't say that shit. Just shut the fuck up with your goddamn opinions that nobody asked you for. With, you know, with the religion that teaches love, all this love and shit, y'all motherfuckers should be leading with that shit. But you lead with condemnation and judgment, and that's fucked up. It really is fucked up. And you know, when you try to do this thing to be softer to your loved ones, you're only hurting them. You're only hurting them, and you're just pushing them away. anybody on this planet can see through that bullshit. So sorry, I thought I was done already, but the comments, thank you, Diamond, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Love Marsha's plate. And obviously Brianna and the Box 512 podcast, Grown Black Trans Woman Talk. I think I got all that right. So anywho, all right, for real this time I'm out, but thank you for joining me, everybody. And please continue to comment or hit me in the inbox, in the DMs if you want to chat some more. All right.